All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. All right, Devin Haney ain't playing. He is saying he wants to fight Vasyl Lomachenko right now, not when he's older. Clearly, he wants to knock that. He wants to put that notch on his belt. And Vasyl Lomachenko shouldn't be let off the hook as far as that goes. No excuses. Lomachenko make the fight after either directly before the fight that he has next or directly after it. Let's make it happen. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos, and also when we do our live streams Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, Sunday morning, OG Boxing Talk. And also thank you so much to this Patreon community. We got a new Patreon video up about immediate power, the young bull and the old bull. Definitely check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. All right, man, look, Devin Haney. Devin Haney is the mandatory challenger for the WBC lightweight title. The WBC lightweight title is held by Vasyl Lomachenko. You know, Vasyl Lomachenko that ESPN says is an 14-0 with 10 knockouts. I think that's the record that ESPN has up there for him. His real record, however, is... his box rec record, though, is 14-1 because he lost to Orlando Salido. His Fight Facts record is 20-1 because there's 6 fights in the World Series of Boxing that he fought that box rec does not count. But, you know, all the politics of hyping up Vasyl Lomachenko, who's a very good fighter, by the way, but undefeatable and undefeated, he is not. So we have this young man, Devin Haney, 20 years old, turned pro when he's 17 years old, started his own promotional company with his father, Bill Haney, and is an undefeated fighter now after instead of going through the Olympic route, he goes through the route of going down to Mexico and fighting professionals in Mexico at a very young age. He's been trained through its stints in his career with Floyd Mayweather Sr., and he's just a very dynamic, exceptional fighter who now at the age of 20 is in the situation where he is the mandatory challenger for Vasyl Lomachenko. And he says that he wants that fight now. He has been very active in the media talking about how he wants that fight with Vasyl Lomachenko. He thinks he can beat Vasyl Lomachenko right now. But Vasyl Lomachenko, strangely enough, has been very, very silent on Devin Haney. I don't know if I've heard him actually say anything about Devin Haney, which is unusual because when talking about another young fighter, Gervonta Davis, Vasyl Lomachenko has found a way to be pretty active in his calling out of Gervonta Davis. But Devin Haney, strangely silent. Now, also the promoter of Bob Arum, Bob Arum, the promoter of Vasyl Lomachenko, you know, the first person to get involved in the extravagant praise of Vasyl Lomachenko, saying that he's the best fighter since young Muhammad Ali. So that would be a young Muhammad Ali would be somewhere around 1967. That, my friend, is 53 years ago. So Vasyl Lomachenko was the best fighter in the last 53 years, and he was saying this after about 8 fights. Anyway, but he says, oh, Devin Haney needs more. He needs more time. He needs more time to develop. Now, I find that funny because if he needs more time to develop, wouldn't everybody else that Lomachenko has fought, with the exception of Orlando Salido, need time to develop? See, this is why we have this is the reason why we have ranking systems. Now, Bob Arum wants to do away with the ranking systems and consequently mandatory challengers for Vasyl Lomachenko and his fighters that he doesn't feel like matching up with people that, you know, his matchmakers might not be interested in for one reason or another. But that's why we have ranking systems. That's why there's mandatories. That's why the Ali Act is put in sections into that that legislation which mandated that the sanctioning bodies give fighters a proper rankings and give them mandatory shots at titles, because we'll have promoters that just want to miss and match whoever it is they want to fight. And a lot of very good fighters get overlooked because the promoters don't want the fight. So here we find ourselves in that situation with Top Rank, according to, if you just take Bob Arum at his word, that he thinks that Vasyl Lomachenko is going to fight the winner, two other of his fighters, right? Two more Top Rank fighters. One of two Top Rank fighters, either Richard Comey or Teofimo Lopez. So would fight Lomachenko, and in that case, that would be the unified champion for 135 pounds, with all the belts would be held by either Vasyl Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, or Richard Comey. But then Lomachenko would move back down in weight, down to 130 pounds. What sense that makes? I can't make any sense of that. If either of those things happen, if either one or two things happen, in my opinion, Vasyl Lomachenko's career is seriously diminished. If he moves back down in weight, number one, because that's ridiculous. Who does that? What other fighter other than Clarissa Shields has been a unified champion in a division and then moved down in weight? I don't know of one. Everybody else, all of the other, and this is something that Bill Haney said, all of the other fighters that have become, settled out a whole division and moved, cleaned out a division and moved. They've cleaned out a division and they moved up. They didn't clean out a division and move back down to lesser, because presumably when you move down, you move to lesser competition. So either Vasyl Lomachenko moves up to 140 pounds, or he fights his mandatories at 135 pounds. And the key mandatory that's there is Devin Haney. Now, why wouldn't Vasyl Lomachenko mention Devin Haney? He's definitely heard of him. Not going to go down this road where that some of you boxing fans, some of you, I don't know where you come from with this argument that nobody's heard of him. As many people have heard of Devin Haney as have heard of Richard Comey, or have heard of Jorge Linares, or Jose Pedraza, or Jason Sosa, or Miguel Mariaga, right? This name recognition thing that people play usually comes up when it's somebody that is a dangerous fighter. But when it's somebody fights somebody that's not a dangerous fighter, and it's just another fight that they believe that their fighter is going to win, it's okay, because somebody else is ducking that fighter. It's something else preventing him from getting the fight. You know the game. But what I think is this: Vasyl Lomachenko and Bob Arum are going to try to duck out of a very tough portion of Vasyl Lomachenko's career. If you look at Vasyl Lomachenko, man, Vasyl Lomachenko is getting cut up and injured in more and more fights. He's no longer Lomachenko. There's no Mosses going on over there at 135 pounds. He's not fighting guys that he's bedazzling and confusing, and they just all of a sudden magically quit. Now I've been had my theory on why a bunch of dudes were quitting. You can look at how overmatched they were and the timing of them quitting, but that's just my speculation. But that's not happening at 135 pounds. And it's not happening against guys that are not top level, that are not elite level fighters. Jose Pedraza is not an elite level fighter. Neither is Luke Campbell. Neither is Jorge Linares, Jose Pedraza. Jose Pedraza, Jorge Linares, or Luke Campbell. None of those guys are elite level fighters. Devin Haney, on the other hand, has the potential and has the look of an elite level fighter. Teofimo Lopez was looking like an elite level fighter until his last couple fights, where he just was kind of following the guy around, headhunting. Specifically that fight against the tall Japanese kid, where he caught the tall Japanese kid. He caught him clean a couple times and didn't really do any damage to that kid. And the fight before that, I think was he fighting Maynard? He might have been fighting Maynard. But whatever the guy's name is that he fought before that, we wind up stopping him with a body shot. But for the most part, all he was doing is just following the guy around. He looked like he had more growing than he could do. Devin Haney, though, looks like an elite level fighter that has this particular elite skill that I believe, and I think that matchmakers would agree, will give Lomachenko a lot of problems. And that is his foot speed, his ability to stay outside of range for Lomachenko and then get in and get out. Lomachenko's plan A and plan B, that's going to be difficult, but I want to see the fight. Let's not let this guy off the hook for this thing. Let's make this fight. There's no excuse for Lomachenko moving down. Let me know what you think in the comment section. With that, I'm out. Peace.